So what you can do is just open your Google and then type Google Colab. And then click on the first link that you are seeing here, collab.research.google.com. So this is just an additional thing that I'm telling you. So when you open it, you will see this particular screen here. So there are some inbuilt examples that are available. We will see this later on. And then the recent, if you have created any new one, you can do that. And then if you have your Google Drive, some notebooks available, you can look into that. Or you can pull it from GitHub, or you can upload some files. Okay. For now, what we will do is we will click on new notebook option appearing on the down. Okay. So this new notebook will start a new Jupyter notebook. So we are also going to use the same Jupyter notebook for our purpose as well. So which we are downloading it for now. Okay. So once we download it, we will be getting the same screen. Yeah. So okay. So there's a question called what is GitHub? So GitHub is actually a repository where you can find plenty of codes available. Okay. So GitHub is some place, right? So you can have lot of there are so many things. You can just search for face recognition. I'm just giving an example. Just write some concept that you want, and then you will be able to see so many codes that are already available, and you can choose the language. For example, you are interested only in Python, you can see so many codes already there. So it's a repository containing open source codes from across the globe. Okay, and sometimes it is licensed, sometimes it's done by some individual users and uploaded. So you can create your own repositories. I'll tell you all these things a bit later. So you will also be able to create some repository and update or upload your codes to the Git repository. So that this is like you can add these things to your resume. So you can just share saying the projects that you have done. So you will be doing some mini projects in Python course, and but maybe don't put that in your resume. So because later on when you do machine learning and deep learning courses, you will be doing a lot of computationally intensive coding over there. So take those projects and then upload that in GitHub and put that in your resume. Of course, you can have n number of projects in your GitHub, but you can choose the projects that you want to put in resume and then put it accordingly. Okay. So I get some more questions. What is the difference between a Git and GitHub? So GitHub is a open source stuff. So Git is private, right? So for example, you are in an organization, you can have your own Git, which means only those in your organization will be able to use that Git. Whereas GitHub is something that is open to everyone. So I just log into GitHub, I will be able to search across the codes, which are all open source. But most of the time, as I said, when there is something like proprietary tool being developed, right? So you don't want to share the code with everyone across the globe. You want to only share the code with your team of developers and so on. So you can have a small repository for your own organization. So installing that in a server or a machine. So that is your Git, and GitHub is a open source. Okay. Okay. So here, this is what is the Google's Colab. Okay. So just keep this open for those who have not installed Python. Now I will open your Jupyter notebook which you have installed in Anaconda, and then we will proceed further. Okay. So for those who are unable to download Python for now, you can just open Google Colab and keep it open, so that whatever I type in Jupyter notebook, the same thing can be typed over here as well. So for example, let's say you are typing some code here. Once you finish this entire notebook, you can save file and then download the notebook. Okay. So you can save the notebook, which will be saved directly in your Google Drive, or you want to download this as there are two extensions. I will talk about the extensions shortly. You can either download this file as a .py file, which is a Python file, or a .ipynd. So this is the file name generally that is given for notebook files. So I stands for interactive, py stands for Python, and NB stands for your notebook. So ipynd is the extension given to Anaconda, that is your interactive Python notebook file. So you can see on top left corner, it says untitled 0.ipynd. I'm just zooming in a bit. So, and you can give a name to this. For example, class 1. Okay. Just double click on this area. You will be able to rename it. Don't touch the extension file. Just make it as class1.ipynd. so that you will be able to write the Python codes here itself in Google Colab. And once that is done, you can save it so that this class1.ipynb will be there in your Google Drive. You can go and download it at any point of time. But after that, you want to download, just click on File and Download. And within download, you get these two options, right? So one is your IPython notebook file, and the other one is your .py file. So .py is the general normal Python file. So as someone asked, if you have idle extension or not, you can download it as a Python file and run that in idle also. Okay, but you have to be aware of few things, which I will tell you at a later point. Okay, so this is one thing. Now let us open our local installed file. So I hope the others you might have installed it. Yeah. So quickly proceeding. When you have opened Anaconda Navigator, you are able to see so many options. So there is a command prompt, there is a data lore, IBM's cloud, Jupyter Lab, and then Jupyter Notebook. Okay, PowerShell prompt, PyCharm. There are so many options. So as I said, this is what is Anaconda. Okay, Anaconda Navigator comes up with so many pre-installed packages. Okay, till Spider, they are all installed, right? So whatever, you are seeing this launch button, it means they are all already installed along with the Anaconda version. Okay, so your Jupyter or your PowerShell prompt, PyCharm, so they are all already installed for you. But then if you see here, there are something like GlueWiz, Orange 3, PyCharm Professional, and RStudio. So they are all not installed, but you have an option of installing them. Okay, in case you want to learn R or something, you can also install directly here itself. Sorry. So here you have this option called environment. So if you click on that, you will see all the packages that are already installed for you. Okay, there are so many packages that are already installed in Anaconda, which is very helpful for us when we start doing the programs. So if you see, there is a package called scikit-learn, which you will do it in machine learning. Seaborn is a visualization library. They're all already installed for you. That's the advantage of having the Anaconda's version. Now click on the home here, already will be there. Now click on Jupyter Notebook and say launch. Okay, so you have this launch button here. Just click on launch. All right, so if you clicked on launch, then you will automatically get this kind of a page. Okay, opened in your Google Chrome or Firefox or Safari or whatever, right? So any browser, you should have any browser installed, Microsoft Edge or Chrome or whatever you are being already used to. So just open, when you say launch, open that in the browser. Okay, so you will see plenty of things like this. Okay, so this has some folders. You will be able to create a new folder. So you say new here, and then first click on a new folder, because you can put all the Python programs within the same folder. So let's just create a folder, and if you just scroll down, there will be an untitled folder created somewhere. Okay, just click there, and then you can come up and say rename, and rename this folder as inside AAML or Python. So just click on that folder, click rename. So inside AAML Python, something like that. You just give a folder name, but make sure that you don't use space in between the words. So you can use underscore or hyphen to separate the words. So I just named it as inside AIML underscore Python. Fine. So let's get started with writing some codes initially, and then we will move on to some slides and then come back to code again. Okay. So see, a Python notebook can be a very simple one. So this is your IPython notebook file. Okay. So if you see here file, you can save and checkpoint. So this file gets saved then and there. And then you can file, if you want, you can download the file as .py file. Okay, so or IPYNB file, the same as you saw in Google Colab. All right. So you can also make a copy of the file and do a lot of things. So we will see all these things one by one. And I will show you the corresponding option in your Google Colab also. So you can see this is called as a cell in Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So a cell is where you will write some code, and then you have this button here called run. So this will run that particular line of code for you. Okay. And these things are just buttons, like if you want to stop the running the code or something, you can click on stop button. And then you want to move the cells, you can cut, copy, and then paste. Then you can save this file. right? So all those things are there. And then there is something called markdown and code. Okay, there are two things. Don't worry about these two things. They are deprecated for now. You can see this code and markdown. So the code is the one which will allow you to type the code, and markdown is the one which will allow you to type some heading for that. Okay, so the corresponding thing in Google Colab will be code or text. So if you add a text, then that will be like a heading text box. So if you want to add a code, it will be you write the code here and run the script. So here the run option is directly appearing on the left side. This button here, right? So this is also a cell. This is also a cell. Now, okay. First, I will just tell with Jupyter Notebook alone. So if you give it as a markdown, what you can do is you can use the hash symbol and to define the headings. Okay. So one hash will have a very big font. For example, I'm saying class 1. And then you just say run. Okay. So just see, it is only a heading. There's nothing happened here. I just typed the class 1 and then pressed on run. So this this is appearing as a heading for this particular entire notebook. Okay. So you can make this as, if you want to use a double hash, then the size will get reduced a bit. Okay. So you can use up to 6 hashes like this. Okay. So you just keep on, after a stage, if you keep on using hash, then nothing will happen. Okay. All the hash will appear as such. So you can use up to 4 hash for reducing the font, and the 5th hash will make the font as italics, and the 6th one will also make it as italics, but 7th one onwards, you will not get anything else. You will get all the 7 hash appearing as such. So for example, you can just specify the size that you want. Okay. So, or you can say class 1 can be a bigger font, and the next one you can make it as another markdown and say X size 1. Okay, so if you are using Google Colab, as I told you, here you will see 2 options. One is code, another one is text. So if you click on the plus code, you will get new cells. So every time you click plus code, you get new cells. And if you want to delete something, you can delete it here. This is in Google Colab. Okay, so if you want to add code, click on code. If you want to add a heading, then click on text. All right. So the same concept applies to here. If you want to click on the plus, every time you click on a plus, a new cell will appear on the bottom. Okay. And by default, the cells are code cells. But if you want to make it as a heading, make it as a markdown. Okay, that's the difference you want to see here. Fine. So, okay. So, yeah, we will first see some concepts and then come back to the coding part.